chosen, and then we can talk about what might go in our notes. Okay, but at least we have a picture.
So now it's supposed to be called Explore, right? Do you want to hit that? Research. Let's see if it will go to it.
So what do you think? Should we go back to the article and find some words that describe what regolith is and put them in our chart as well?
I already did that.
Who already did that? You're so fast. Amazing. I'm going to hop back to my article. And let's see, where is regolith? Here it is. Small rocks and dust called regolith on Bennu's surface. So I think small rocks and dust is pretty good. Let's do Control C and go back to our vocabulary list, and let's do a Control V and dump it in there. Now it's space rocks and dust, right? Do we need to write that? Space rocks and dust? Small rocks and dust. Can we make that better on the surface of, or that orbit the surface of? It's up to you. This is your vocabulary list, right? This is going to help you remember some of what these words mean. And maybe when you start taking space, you'll remember them. I'm also going to look for another picture of an asteroid because I'm bored by that one. So I'm going to highlight the word asteroid, and I'm going to put it in my research or my explore tool and see what I get. Oh, nice. You might want to do the same thing. I'm going to pick one that means something to me. I like this one because it's got some action. And for those of you that are really ahead of the game, I challenge you to find a GIF. Because that would be really cool.
Give it up, Wesley, let's go.
All right.
Jackie said the word right.
So, can anybody tell me? Thank you. Well done. You found a GIF?
Yeah, it says asteroid GIF. I
Did you
clicked on it
search
and it said me.
asteroid GIF?
No, I searched it on research and then it got me to a website.
Very cool.
It's
And you
called
grabbed it from
Giphy.
there. Want to see a little trick?
Yeah, Giphy.
Okay.
See?
Let's see.
There, I have like
You
5
search
gifs.
asteroid
It
GIF.
did this. I clicked this one and it put me to asteroid GIF.
I'm gonna look.
Jiff it. Jiff it, Wesley.
Asteroid. Here we
I have
go.
a gift. I found a gift that the asteroid is spinning.
This is kind of cool, and you probably already know this. You probably already know this. Look how funny they are. Okay. So watch this. I'm gonna click on this guy, and I'm gonna drag it up to my vocabulary list tab, and then I'm gonna drag it down to my asteroid. And now, without having to do anything, did you know that trick?
Yeah.
Do I have anything you don't know?
Tough to tell.
See? How cool is that? That's not your mom's vocabulary list, let me tell you. That's
Jiffy.
all right. Stop, look, and listen. Eyes on me. I want to know if you think this activity, this tool, this way of doing research is going to be helpful for you when you're moving forward in your other subjects. Anybody have an idea of where you might use that?
On a project?
On a project. Could be an interesting way to introduce concepts to people that you might be producing information for. For somebody like me, this is a nice visual way to remind me of what these words mean. So if I'm looking at them on a page and I'm not sure, I can go back and I can look there. Or what if you're just reading research online for a project and you're like, oh, I need to remember these cool words. You can use that vocabulary tool to generate yourself your own resource. You are the master of your domain. And how cool is it when you can add something that moves to your stuff, okay? Before I leave you though, I do totally want to show you another way to use the highlighter tools. Are you into that? We're going to switch gears entirely. Yes. We have 1 minute.
Oh, no, wait.
Oh,
10:30.
yeah.
I always think it's at 10:15. Sorry, take it back.
Okay, so I do have time. All right, are you guys game? Yeah? Okay. We're switching gears. I want you to go back to your article. And I want you to erase all of your highlights. The fastest way to do this. Anybody have a fast way to do this?
Yep.
Yes. Highlight everything and click the broom. How do you highlight everything
Control
really
A.
fast.
You basically
Control A.
or you just hold.
Okay, so you can hold and click or you can do a control A. Control A is gonna do that, and then you click your broom, and they're all gone. This time, I'm gonna challenge you to find a main idea. We'll look at it together a little bit and talk a little bit about that. And then we're gonna find some supporting details for that main idea. And I know you've been working on this a little bit, and sometimes the main idea is a hard thing to find. I think it might not be so hard with this particular article. I think the main idea is hovering up near the top of the article somewhere. Anybody have an idea? Put their hand up, discuss at your table for a minute. Look at that stuff. What do you think the main idea is? When you figure it out, I want you to highlight it with the color blue.
What color is it?
Blue.
Okay. So spin it up, find the main idea, guys, talk about it.
I just highlighted it.
What did you think the main idea?
If you hold for
That's a pretty big main idea.
Okay, so it's going to be up at the top. No, so that's too much for a main idea. No.
Okay.
Those are, that's a whole article.
Eyes on me.
Basically,
Thank you.
near the
These are
top, it's
awesome.
going to tell you what the
I hope
article
the
is
rest
going
of my
to be
day
about.
goes like
Good stuff.
except for the hiccups, of course, but whatever. We can't control the Wi-Fi. What do you think the main idea is, or where am I going to find it? Yes.
Oh,
Paragraph.
First paragraph. How many of you agree?
this one, right?
Thank you.
That's the
Let's
title, so
highlight
we won't
first
use that as
paragraph,
a-
and we'll turn it blue. A NASA mission to bring samples from an asteroid surface back to Earth could help scientists better understand how our
So we'll
solar
just
system
highlight
began.
that one. Yeah.
Now, I challenge you
Right there.
to find, and I gotta tell you, supporting details are very difficult to tease apart because what's interesting to me is not necessarily a supporting detail. So if I look at the next paragraph and I look for something that proves or adds information about that main idea, I can identify it as a supporting detail. And I'm going to use a different color to pick a few supporting details. Let's say 3. Let's do 3 details, okay? The first one might be that the probe, the OSIRIS-REx probe, so let's do this piece. That's an important piece because if we don't know what's happening, we can't determine what it's being used for. And maybe the piece where it's on a 7-year mission to retrieve a piece of Bennu. You guys think those are pretty good supporting details? It's a lot more highlighting than I like, but it's a fact-based article. So we're not gonna maybe have little bits and pieces. Refining them is gonna come later. The probe is expected to reach Bennu in about 2 years. It will study and map the asteroid surface. What's the most important piece there? Anybody? What do you think? That it might take 2 years. Okay, let's do the 2 years.
How are you doing?
And it'll study the Earth, it'll study the surface of the
So, you know, did
asteroid,
you
right?
keep the same colors as her because
that
this one
important?
is what it's going to
Yep.
put it into like a document.
How about
for you.
one more?
So I think this part here is supposed to be the green as well.
One more really important detail.
Okay, so keep the colors the same because she's
I
going
really
to
thought
put them into a classification.
that this was an important detail.
Okay, so let's,
Study
oops, so this is
Bennu's
the code.
regolith
Let's
may
make that.
provide
Okay,
clues
so
to the
this is-
origin of life on
Well, I
Earth.
didn't finish that.
That to
Okay.
me is an interesting point, don't you
I
think?
see, okay.
Because what's the point? Who cares?
so-
Scientists send probes everywhere all the time. They look at stuff, but
7-year
why?
mission to retrieve
Well, here's the
sample
why,
of the surface
right?
from an Android copy.
The last thing I want you to do is figure out, just by looking at those texts, if anything makes you wonder about something. So I really wonder what they're going to be looking for. So let's see. Several organizations are working here. Canadian scientists will use it for many different research projects. Like what? My wondering is, what research projects? Can I be involved in one of them? For my wondering, I'm gonna choose pink. Okay? If you've been doing this with me, great. If you've chosen different things, great. It's totally your research at this point. And if you were doing a project, this would be a nice way to collect ideas. And if your class, if If you had to identify a main idea and some supporting details, this is a quick way to do it without rewriting it. Am I right? Because watch what happens when I click that little circle. See the little circle?
Click it and you choose the color you want.
You can sort your highlights by color, or you can sort them by position. I'm going to choose position because I want my highlights to appear in the order that I highlighted them. And then I'm going to click OK. Just for those of you that are remembering that little hiccup thing that we did at the very beginning where we changed Espanol to French, if we didn't do that, this wouldn't work. So this is what I get now in my Google Doc. So I can tell right away, that's what I thought the main idea was. Here are some of my supporting details, and here is my wondering, which is kind of hard to see, so I'm going to take off that pink highlight just by highlighting, and I'm going to change that to transparent. Okay. Are you with me? The last thing that I want to show you, I mean, from here, we can go below and we can do a bunch of things. We can rewrite this in our own words. We could use the speech to text. And whatever I say will type for me, period. I want you to know that it's not going to punctuate for you, but if you need to get ideas out really quickly, this is an okay way to do that, because then I can go back and edit that and put my own punctuation in, okay? If you don't like that, or you can't use your voice because it's too noisy or it's not appropriate or whatever, you feel weird because you're not in a quiet place to do it on your own, you could also try using the word prediction tool, which is right here. See that crystal ball?
Yeah.
And if I click that, I can start typing. And if I hover over the words, it should read them out loud if my text-to-speech was working, which is super weird today. But I can also just recognize the words that I need. So this article, and if I click on the word, it will put it right in my sentence. So I don't have to sound out all of the letters for that word. How many of you think you might like to use word prediction a little bit? A little tip. Don't write a whole paragraph of word prediction, because it'll sound like nonsense. Okay? You've got to think about that beginning letter sound for the word that you're looking for. But the coolest thing you can do, if all you're doing is giving your teacher a bit of information about what you thought, remember that wondering I had? I can highlight the thing that I was wondering about. I'm going to ask you to do this in a minute. And I can click this button, the black play button it looks like, and I just want you to watch and make no noise. Okay? I am wondering what kind of research projects Canadian scientists are going to use the space dust for. If I click insert, depending on how your somebody's Wi-Fi is working, depending on how quickly this works, I'm going to get a little comment over here, and if I click comment,
It'll come up just wait.
Oh,
So we'll give it a minute.
Hover over the text.
Hover over
That
the
works.
text. Doesn't work. I saw that yesterday.
Oh,
You actually have to click comment to get it to do it. Oh, look.
it works.
It's just there. See? So now I can click the play button and I can listen to what I thought. The speaker's on. Nothing's working for me.
Oh, it's cool. It's okay. I actually put comments in like this for all our
Oh, nice.
current assignments.
So you guys know.
So if you guys wonder how I make those awesome voice comments in your reflection assignments, I use that.
That's what he's using.
Yeah.
And that's a good way for you to give your understanding back to Mr. Bowles. Did I plug in the wrong green one?
No.
Oh, did I do Oh, that's my Okay, that's okay.
This will work.
Do you want to try it? You want to play?
Canadian scientists are going to use the space dust.
You ever wonder how weird you sound? I gotta tell you though,
I got a blue Yeti mic.
sometimes I can get an idea out for my teacher a whole lot faster if I use a voice note. And I guess if you were to get a quiz or a test, and it was okay with Mr. Blair that you answer your questions that way, you could say, can I use voice notes today? Would that be okay? Or if you have a question, about what you're doing, you could drop a voice note and Mr. Blair would be able to listen to your voice. The sweet dulcet